Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time to get icy. With, of course, ICEMAN, Aubrey Drake Graham, Toronto rapper, music legend. He is about to drop a brand new record on us, which is sure to be one of the most talked about projects of 2026. It is a long-awaited album and seen by many to be kind of a make or break moment for him, because this will be his first solo release since his beef with Kendrick Lamar, which, some might argue had maybe a smidge of an impact on his career and public image. The debate around that fact is a little more ridiculous and contentious than I think it should be, while some of his most hardcore fans will tell you straight to your face, like, yeah, the GOAT is still unshaken and he is still the number one rapper. He is unstoppable. He is the best. He is the greatest. Kendrick has not changed that in any way, shape, or form. But simultaneously, if Drake didn't feel like his public image was impacted negatively in any way, why was he suing UMG? Clearly, the man came away from the battle feeling some type of way. But listen, it's 2026. I'm not going to come on here and waste another minute or 5 minutes talking to you about this goddamn battle that is over and done with at this point, that some people still want to convince themselves needs litigation. But Drake is really trying to have a comeback moment here. He needs this new record to not just do well for him, but keep him in that number one spot, or else it will seem like he has fallen from grace and he's not as successful as he used to be, and his reign over hip-hop and the music industry is pretty much over. And with the way the music industry currently works, that means not only does the music need to be good and widely appealing, but the rollout needs to be good too. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but for the most part, the ICEMAN rollout so far has not been good at all. Either certain announcements around the title or release or content of this album are falling flat, being met with a lack of interest, not to mention getting overshadowed by headlines of the various lawsuits and legal battles that Drake is currently embroiled in, whether it has to do, again, with this UMG defamation thing or the various gambling to-dos Drake is tied up in. As an aside here, it's kind of a sign that Champagne Papi is spreading himself a little bit too thin, that he has all of these orbiting problems and issues that are distracting from what people should be focusing on instead, and that's just simply the music. So you've got that, and also these different episodic visual short film pieces interspersed with bits of new music that Drake has been dropping that haven't really been getting rave reactions outside of his core fan base. Even guys like Kai Cenat, a dude who is absolutely incentivized as one of the most popular streamers out there with connections to big entertainment industry figures, even he would be incentivized to come on stream and pretend that all the ICEMAN episodes and visuals are good, but even he can't muster up a positive reaction to how boring and uninteresting they are.
They're spamming hidden messages that's dragged out to make it look artistic. The biggest waste of my god! I can't fake it. That was ass.
And then I would say the third prong of this ICEMAN rollout is maybe the most annoying one. Basically, every Drake-connected media sycophant or stan on social media, week in and week out, talking about how the album is dropping. It's so soon. It's almost here. Freak out. Get hype. I've heard it. It's the greatest thing I've ever heard from him. Oh my God. Which, for the length of time this pattern has been repeating, it's actually kind of had the opposite effect in terms of making people more excited for ICEMAN. And whether it's Drake or people on his team directly instructing this behavior to keep discourse about the album going, or if these people are just merely incentivized by the attention economy on the internet, either way, it's not good. Which is why this past week, merely out of a desire to engage in a little social experiment, I decided to come online and just say that I knew ICEMAN was going to drop this past weekend and that it was going to come out in 36 hours, and an exclusive source that I had told me this information. Drake, ICEMAN, it is happening. Based on my exclusive source, ICEMAN will be dropping in the next 36 hours. keep an eye out, keep an ear out. ICEMAN in 36 hours. You're welcome. In fact, here is me texting my partner on Wednesday, just kind of proposing the idea, what if I said every day ICEMAN was about to drop until it actually came out? And I'll also show you my side of a convo that I had over text with Torre, where I told him, I said that shit yesterday to see how many rap pages would post it. I'm going to announce ICEMAN is dropping every weekend until it drops. Now, before I get into the why of that, I will stop here to say, actually quite a few rap pages reposted what I said, many of which I'm sure were well aware that I most likely didn't personally have that connection to Drake's team in order to say with complete confidence that I knew the album was actually dropping, but posted it anyway because they knew it was going to generate views and traffic and discussion, which then brings us into the why of why I did this, because maybe some of you watching this might think, Anthony, isn't that a little sort of like cynical to be consciously dropping misinformation about an album release date on the internet? And while, yes, it is, simultaneously, this is what all of Drake's fans have been doing week in and week out, and his team has been actively incentivizing this behavior. Like, what I merely did was engaged in a part of the Drake album rollout without being asked to do so. And I feel like the evidence of this becomes clear when you look at the reactions from those who post most positively about Drake on the internet in the media sphere, be it academics, be it Rory and Mal.
When you're hearing this, ICEMAN is out, according to Anthony Fantano, some greaseball, some Italian name.
Oh my God.
It should be out right now, according to Big Ant.
I mean, I don't know who sources are, but his sources are wrong.
Who were very quick to run with this narrative that, oh yeah, Anthony Fantano, he wasn't trolling, he got fed bad information. Which is very funny because I feel like these guys, when posting about having anything to do with Drake and me, would be the fastest to say, oh yeah, Fantano is the #1 Drake hater, Drake hates Fantano, there's like bad blood there. And if that's the case, like, why would Drake or anybody on his team tell me anything? Why would I, knowing that Drake hates me, take anything in terms of a release date from his team without sort of like, taking it with a grain of salt? So again, yes, I just made it up because that's literally what everyone who's been promoting Drake and this album for the past 4 months has been doing. And continuing to push the hype for ICEMAN in this way, unfortunately, I feel like has gotten away from Drake and his team a little bit, given that someone like me can just announce randomly that the album is dropping in 36 hours and everybody goes into a fucking tailspin over it. So now Drake and his team have sort of like recontrolled the narrative around the record's release, very smartly, I might add, by putting up this giant block ice structure in downtown Toronto and essentially making it clear to the internet that information about the album's release, what they want to know about ICEMAN coming out, will be revealed once this ice structure melts. And continuing to give Drake his flowers, this is actually a really cool idea in concept. Very ambitious, very unique, very unlike anything else we're seeing in the music industry as far as album promotion currently. But as cool and as out there as this idea is, I feel like the execution and the experience of watching the onslaught of clips and madness that has occurred as a result is more cringe than the TikTok Riz Party clips. This structure has pretty much become a hunk of shit to flies. The flies being all of these different Drake stands and streamers and hangarounds who have basically headed to this area to try to melt the structure actively with fire, with ice. They're hitting it with sledgehammers. With Drake actively incentivizing this behavior by buying many of these streamers subs live on stream. Again, this would be a cool idea in concept if it wasn't literally devolving into Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce madness. Basically, every single type of Canadian where's my hug type dude showed up at this fucking ice structure to find out when this Drake album was coming out. All this has really done is made me feel more confident whenever I sort of engage with anybody who's very anti-me, pro-Drake on the internet, because I can now just imagine any of them as these people. I feel like I'm faking the funk calling myself a nerd looking at these dudes. Like, why is this guy licking the fucking ice? Even though right now I do not have the proof of this, I just know somebody peed on that thing. It's so funny because even when Drake does actually manage to come through with a good idea for promoting ICEMAN, the way he has shifted his fan base to turn into such an awkward, toxic, gross direction with all of the hate, all of the legal stuff, all of the gambling, all of the cringe. He can't even enjoy the W because his social experiment has attracted some of the worst people on the planet, which again, so funny considering all of the Drake camp social media freakouts over the past few years that we've seen over any celebrity or notable figure who was caught listening to or vibing to Not Like Us. And yet we're supposed to look at all this footage of streamers in tracksuits freaking out over ice and think this is cool. Yeah, okay, buddy. Either way, I hope ICEMAN drops real soon because if it doesn't, I'm going to keep saying it's about to drop. Because why the hell not? That's what everyone else is doing. Adding in an additional clip here because apparently there are some Drake fans who were able to break their way into the structure in the midst of this video getting edited. And there was a piece of signage in that structure that says ICEMAN is supposed to be dropping May 15th. I guess we are just going to have to see. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. I'm sure you will. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or a link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, ICEMAN, forever.